One of the joys of really knowing your way around the kitchen is that it gives you the confidence to explore new combinations and new styles.
For this week's celebratory menu, we gave Dion Vengatass freedom as a theme, and he came up with a feast that's inspired by South Africa and its multicultural society.
Born in Actonville, Benoni, Dion Vengatass was trained at the renowned Swiss hotel school. But his passion for cooking can be traced back to his beloved grandmother, Violet, who set him on the path to acclaim and awards.
Taking a keen interest in food from a young age, Dion Vengatass's first introduction was as assistant chef to his grandmother, Violet. Fast forward a couple of years later and he's head chef at a leading hotel, and he's invited me along to sample one of his signature menus. Now this is what an international kitchen looks like, and I'm meeting up with Chef Dion Vengatass, who's also better known as Chef D. Chef D, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Chef Dion, you've had an interesting start to your cooking passion. Tell us a bit more about that.
Mainly it all started at home with my Oma, Auntie Violet, and then being influenced by her with food and the way she had that great passion and love for what she done. You know, I mean, she grew a lot of her ingredients in the backyard from a little small garden that she had going on, from her marrows, from the pumpkin, and just the way she dealt with simple ingredients and turned it into something magical.
How are you going to inspire us today with your menu?
Okay, I have the cabillaud dish with fresh tomato salad, a char-grilled tomato ketchup, cold smoked cabillaud, and a pickled cabillaud fish.
Talk me through these ingredients that we have over here.
Okay, what we have over here is beef tomatoes. There's a little bit of plum tomatoes over here, some coriander shoots. There's rosa tomatoes over here, which is slightly sweet and a bit bitter. There's some pickled onions with a sweet texture to it. Then I have something over here that's tomatillos. It's a cross between a gooseberry and a tomato. Then there's some ripe yellow cherry tomatoes, which are literally like plums. And over here is a smoky ketchup tomato chutney vibe thingy. Okay, we're just gonna get the tomatoes prepped at the moment and then get the cabillaud sliced, and then we're gonna assemble it.
Good.
What I do, I cure the cabillaud with curry leaves, curry powder, salt, sugar, and a bit of onion. When you cure it, you sort of remove all of the moisture from it.
Okay.
So it's literally cooking it with salt, and then it's cold smoked afterwards to add that smoky flavor to it. So just thinly slice this cabillaud like I've done earlier on here. I should let you taste this. It's phenomenal.
Fantastic.
This cabillaud has been crispy fried, and then I made a sweet and sour curry sauce like pickled fish. So it's got a sweet texture to it, and it's a bit lemony as well.
Chef D, growing up as a 4-year-old, assisting Oma Violet, did you ever think this is where you'd be?
No, finally, I mean, not at all. I often look back and it's like, geez, I've accomplished so much, you know, and never ever at one stage I think it was going to go so far.
Chef, what is your food philosophy?
Strict principles I work by, it's just two things, you know, work extremely clean, which is professionalism as you work in the kitchen, not wasting anything, utilizing every single part of your ingredient that you're working with. And just like giving it its respect, and then at the end of the day, it's going to speak for itself. I'm just going to get this tomato ketchup at the bottom.
There we go.
And just that pickled fish that we made earlier. In the restaurant, it's usually a standard the way the dishes are plated, because then everybody comes together and plates it as a team.
Some of your pickled onion going on. Tomato dust.
There we go.
Voila. Starter finished. What's up next?
Over here we have springbok loin, venison, which is cured with curry leaves, salt and sugar. Then we have tortellinis here that I've made. It's little small navel-shaped pastas that I've stuffed with braised springbok neck. Some pickled carrots, slightly spicy. A curry leaf crumble with macadamia and cashew nuts that's toasted with curry powder, and then brioche crumbs with fresh curry leaves. It's all dried together. Then there's a biltong powder here that gets dusted over the springbok loin once it's cooked. It's carrot tops, little roasted carrots over here, a butternut puree, and then morogo, which is wild spinach that's cooked down with some spices.
Chef D, I'm sure you've experienced some really challenging moments. How do you manage that while preparing this artwork?
I think it's just planning and organizing, and I'm really good at that. Try to stay 4 to 5 steps ahead of what I'm actually doing.
I'm sure you've also had the opportunity to experience cooking for some really top-notch people.
When I worked in Johannesburg, I cooked for Oprah once, Mandela also when he was around, Jay-Z, Beyonce. We used to get a lot of celebrities. Being involved in a five-star establishments most of my career is you're always cooking for the high and mighties, you know.
Chef, what's next in preparing for the main course?
Okay, I just gotta lightly blanch these, boil them so they heat through, and then finish them in the curry leaf butter. Get the curry leaves in just to sizzle slightly.
What I've noticed, Chef, is that curry leaves is part of your signature ingredients.
Yeah, for this dish specifically.
I must admit I'm a huge fan of the buttery flavor.
We're just gonna dust it in
voila.
the biltong. Okay, this is that butternut puree.
All those different textures, colors, smells coming together to create the perfect second course.
Voila.
One more to go, my favorite part of the menu. Chef D, what's for dessert?
Booba, which is a sago pudding that I've cooked with cinnamon, star anise, cardamom, and allspice. And then little cook sisters that we're gonna drench in its simple syrup that's flavored with the similar spices that's in the booba that we've cooked, so it all complements each other at the end. Then we're gonna dust it in the fine coconut, and it's served with two sorbets, the dried apricot. It's a milk and honey sorbet, so it'll be two frozen items with the warm booba and the soft, slightly crunchy texture of the cook sisters. I made the booba earlier on, so you can see over here. I just want to show you the flavors that I cooked it with. So it's just a raw sago, the vermicelli and milk.
Now looking to the future, Chef D, where do you see yourself?
Definitely owning my own restaurant. I'm going to tribute it to my Oma as well, so it will be Violet by Vengatass.
Oh, sugar overdose. Right, so you're still following the traditional route where you're coating it with some fine coconut?
That's correct.
Chef, watching you and observing you in action, what sort of advice do you have for all those out there that is aspiring to be a chef?
I would get your bases down first and maybe do a trial shift somewhere, you know, and you can job shadow for a day, see if you really want to do it first. It's at hard hours you put in there, it's at blood, sweat, and consistent prep of the same thing you do every single day. If you don't have passion for it, you won't really make it, I guess.
Chef, I see you put in your final touches to the sago sister dessert.
It's just apricot sorbet that we're putting on now, and milk and honey.
Oh.
That's it.
Before I go, I have to ask you about all those tattoos. What do they represent?
Oh my word, yeah. It actually started off with like the accolades that I achieved. I put a knife per accolade, and then I don't know, it's just got overwhelming, and then I never had more space for them, so I just put a big one here.
Chef, thank you so much. I look forward to experiencing more of Chef D in the future.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I've really enjoyed my time with Chef D and his modern take on a traditional menu. For more about today's recipes, visit us at the Mela Facebook page. Bon appetit!